Alrighty, welcome to this episode of the Princeton Playbook. Today we're going to be doing a little CFB bracket with you guys on who we think will win all those matchups, then discussing so far MLB free agency and how that's gone.
Yeah, it's been relatively a quiet free agency so far, but in Mets land it has been very quiet. So
Yeah, I think in Phillies land, there's been a lot of discussion, obviously, of Schwarber was huge. I think everybody, for the most part, wanted him back. I get a 5-year contract's not the best for somebody going into their age 32, I think now, whatever age season. He's definitely older, but I think he was the runner up for MVP last year. When you look at some of the deals that guys have been able to get, aka Soto, I get he's younger, but I honestly thought the deal was pretty good.
I honestly I hate this deal for you guys. I think in 4 years this is gonna kill you.
Yeah, but are we going to be in contention anyway in 4 years? Probably not.
That's why it's gonna kill you. It's not
In four
this.
years, it's going to be a brutal year just because of all the big contracts, but our window's 3 or 4 years. That's how long our window is. And for those 3 or 4 years, the annual value isn't terrible.
I mean, 30 mil a year for a 32-year-old DH isn't ideal in my opinion. I think there are much better guys on the market that you guys could have pursued.
Who do
Uh,
you think we should have given that contract to instead?
Pete Alonso, a Kyle Tucker. There's, I mean, a
Tucker, I
Bo
would.
Bichette, stick him at third. I mean, there's a lot of options that you guys could have
I get there's a
explored.
lot of options. I just think they're all going to command higher annual values. I get Pete was very similar, but I also think Schwarber is much better than Pete.
Pete Alonso does play good defensive first base. That's the difference there. I think for a strict DH, unless you're Shohei Ohtani, it's never really going to be worth it.
Yes, but at the same time, when you consider that Schwarber probably again was the runner up as MVP with those stats, and we already have a pretty good defensive first baseman in Bryce Harper. It's not really needed, in my opinion.
But I get that. A part of this is just that Kyle Schwarber is
He's
really
a
meant a lot
he's a
for
team guy. He's
Philly.
a team guy. That's definitely part of it. What did you think about the Victor Robles deal?
What happened there? I didn't even see that.
Or who did the Mets sign? Not Robles.
Jorge Polanco. Right.
Jorge Polanco. That's who it was.
Yeah, absolutely love that move for the Mets. Great defensive versatility. I'm not saying he's elite, but stick him at
He's
first,
good
second,
versatility.
third, DH, very good versatility. Switch hitter. We need balance from the right side. He has consistently an 800 OPS or above and from both sides of the plate. I just, I mean, he rakes, man. In a big
And that,
ballpark like Seattle,
has it been 800 plus both sides?
800 plus both sides. It was a great season for Polanco. In a big park like Seattle, he's going to be a 20 to 25 home run hitter every year for you. But yeah,
Yeah.
and on a 2-year deal, I, I honestly very like this move, especially if we plan on platooning him with Mark Vientos.
I can give you platoon him. It's good. I think it's a lot of money for a platoon hitter, though, to make per year.
Same deal with Schwarber. That's a lot of money for a strict DH. So I mean,
He plays every single day.
for for a player that's going to be playing pretty much every single day at first base or DH, that is a good move. And especially if that means a Kyle Tucker, a Cody Bellinger, a Framber Valdez is coming to New York,
Or a Tariq Skubal.
or a Tariq Skubal, which
Skubal would be nuts.
I think the Mets could honestly put together a really tasty package for Skubal. I think we have one of the best farm systems of baseball.
You'd lose some guys in terms of to get him, but I think it's worth it for Skubal.
Absolutely worth it.
Yeah, that's my guess on your big move this offseason. I don't think it's as much of getting a Tucker or a Bellinger, though you very well may do that. If you get Skubal, you're giving him an extension right away.
Absolutely.
That
Yeah,
could be a big move. I thought Pete Alonso's deal was pretty good. I was surprised it was the Orioles.
Yeah, I mean, we expected that he was going to leave. I think
I
it's
think
not a surprise to
good.
anyone.
Go
But
ahead.
what was a surprise to me was Brandon Nimmo and Edwin Diaz leaving. That
What?
Brandon Nimmo and Edwin Diaz leaving, and that was for me. That was Nimmo especially was it's pretty sad to see him go.
Nimmo surprised me. I think it was honestly not a bad move for you. Simeon fits pretty well in your lineup, but
For sure,
Nimmo,
and the right hand balance, like I talked about.
yeah, Nimmo's just been a staple for so long.
I mean, yeah, I mean,
Yes, like the trumpets are synonymous with Queens. To have him leave, that
I
was
mean, man, Brandon Nimmo. I mean, you don't realize this man was drafted when I was 1 years old, man. That's
yeah,
it's pretty special. The very first year I
great.
started watching baseball was a year after he made his debut. So I grew up watching him, grew up watching him on the Mets. And the year after and that year actually is the year Pete Alonso got drafted. And
Yeah,
then
he's older than I thought he was.
2016, Pete Alonso got drafted. 2017, Nimmo made his debut. 2018 was the Diaz trade for Kalanick.
And then
2019 was Alonso's debut, and now
was Alonso's debut and home run derby win.
that's special stuff, man. So hopefully, they do well. Obviously, I'll always be rooting for them. Although, well, I hope they don't do too well. But
Maybe not Diaz. Maybe you don't want Diaz with the Dodgers doing too well.
yeah, I don't want them doing too well. But obviously, I'm rooting for them. Obviously, as Mets,
Yeah,
it
you root.
reminds me a lot of the Jacob DeGrom offseason.
Yeah. Okay. Quick recap. You're not gonna know it, but NHL news: Tristan Jarry traded for Stuart Skinner, Brett Kolak, and a second rounder. Um, as a Penguins fan, was sad to see Jarry go, sort of like you with Nemo. But I think it was a good trade for the Penguins. It was a good deal. As a Penguins fan, happy with that. And then obviously the big trade was Quinn Hughes. That was pretty crazy to see him not go to the Devils. I expected him to go to the Devils, but I think the Wild will be a good fit. Wild are a scary team right now. That'll be it for NHL news. But those are my takes on that.
Cool. Yeah, yeah. I haven't. I honestly don't know what's going on there anymore. Man, like the Mammoth are a team now. Like, well, what's
Yeah,
going
they
on, man?
saw Mammoth. The Coyotes went extinct.
What happened to the game I love? No, I'm kidding.
No, do we want to go into CFB?
Let's do it. Let me. Can you make sure I can share?
Yeah, I'll allow it if it comes through.
So yeah, Notre Dame left out of the college football playoff.
That was nuts. That was,
Um, honestly, obviously surprising, but honestly, we obviously knew there was a world where that could happen.
it
They
was
did not
most
play their best football.
Virginia losing. You knew Duke wasn't going to get in. Though I personally think Duke has more of a chance of winning a game against Oregon than James Madison.
Absolutely.
That's just me. I think Duke should be in over James Madison.
You can't argue with a one-loss team.
You can argue of a one-loss team, but I think Duke honestly does have a better chance of getting in, of actually winning a game.
Yeah.
But what can you say? I like Duke, so I was happy they beat Virginia, but it created that doomsday scenario for Notre Dame.
Yeah, absolutely. But Notre Dame wouldn't have gotten in. They would have gotten in instead of Miami or Alabama.
Well, say Virginia wins in there. Yeah, it's true, but it made it easier. I think, yeah, it's pretty crazy. I get Alabama, but at the same time, the championship game matters. Like, that's a three-loss team.
Yeah. I'm actually gonna duplicate this so we can each make our own bracket. I think that would be a better idea for us.
Okay, sounds good. How soon do you think we get to a 16-team college football playoff?
Oh, that would be crazy. That's just must watch. But like at the same time, like some random teams will be getting it. So
All right,
here we
here.
go. You want to go first?
Sure, I think we'll start off with I do not have James Madison actually beating Oregon. I don't see a way. I think Oregon is one of the top teams in the country. That and home field, tough environment for James Madison, but you made it to this stage, taking Oregon.
All right, let's just do like round by round, I guess. So go ahead with Oklahoma, Alabama. That's a great game.
I personally got Alabama. I got this is my upset of the first round. I think Alabama gonna feel like they need to avenge that loss to Georgia last week. You can't. You're Alabama. You can't go two straight losses. So do think they beat Oklahoma. Then I do have Ole Miss beating Tulane. It's again similar to James Madison. I hate to say it, they don't exactly belong here. It's
Yeah.
just they're not one of the teams I'm surprised they even were able to get in. And then finally taking Texas A&M just for the home field advantage. One of the craziest home field advantages there are. That's going to be the difference between them and Miami.
Craziest thing is that I will be picking the exact same as you.
You're doing the exact same.
Yeah. The only thing I to think about was this game, Miami, Texas A&M. I think Miami's a sneaky team.
I think Miami's a sneaky team. I think the home field advantage put me over the edge. Oklahoma, Alabama, I was close, but I took
I
Alabama.
do think Alabama is the more talented team, and sometimes that's hard to argue against.
Yeah. So now, where's doesn't really matter. Should I go ahead or do you want to go?
I'll start it off here. All right, Oregon, Texas Tech. I actually have the upset here with Oregon. Moving on, I just think that this Oregon team they just lost once. They're completely consistent every single year, and I think they're gonna come out and they're gonna surprise a lot of people there. And then next, Alabama, Indiana. I'm gonna go with the 1 seed here
Ooh,
in the Rose Bowl game. Heisman Mendoza. That defense, absolutely incredible. I think
defense is stellar.
IU is gonna move on there. Ole Miss, Georgia. I think Ole Miss is a great team. But I think we saw what Georgia could do against Alabama. I think they roll here. And then Cotton Bowl Classic, Texas A&M, Ohio State. Texas A&M, I thought was one of the contenders, and then I think they lost a game.
They
But
lost.
Ohio State is probably the best team roster wise in this entire tournament. Didn't lose until last week, which honestly they should have won that game. I think they
They
roll
should
here.
have won that game.
So yeah, I think they roll here. Yeah, so those are my predictions. What you got?
Again, completely funny thing. I'm taking my bracket has been exactly the same as yours. Oregon, I think, is probably the most underrated team in the country. They just are so consistent week in, week out. I think their one loss was to Indiana, but in a good game. And
Dante Moore. How about
what
that? How about Dante Moore, man?
Dante Moore's so good. Heisman Mendoza taking Indiana. That culture that Kirk Signetti has made is just incredible. If Ole Miss had Lane Kiffin, I'd be taking him. They don't. Not going to get into that whole saga, but taking Georgia. And then Ohio State's probably the most talented team in the country, as you said.
I'd say got the same stuff, but hopefully more interesting here. But
Yeah.
we're probably not because Indiana, I'm gonna be taking to move on to the national championship. I just feel like there's something special. That's I mean, obviously it's Fernando Mendoza, but like it's that team in general. Every time I watch them, they put on a show. So and
Yeah.
then Georgia, Ohio State. Again, must watch football right here. But I'm taking Ohio State. Uh,
Wow.
so that gives us the rematch of the Big Ten championship. But like
Yeah.
like I
Big
said, Ohio
conferences.
State, that offense is way too good to have struggled like that against Indiana. Saying with Smith and Tate, that defense who shut down Indiana for the most part.
Are you betting against Heisman Mendoza?
We'll see. We'll see, but we'll get to your semifinal predictions first.
Yeah, well, I'll be going against Indiana. Give me Oregon. I think that team is just
Ooh.
you don't lose to a team twice in the same season. It doesn't happen. You saw with Georgia, Alabama. So few teams actually get to play twice in one season, but for teams of this caliber, you don't lose to the same team twice. Oregon, Dante Moore, just so good. I think that's a win for Oregon. And then Georgia, Ohio State, probably the best game I think in the tournament so far. If this is what happens, I go Ohio State though. As we said, most talented team on paper. Too good.
All right, that gives us the national championship. You wanna give us the pick here? Is it the underdog or is it the favorite here?
It's gonna be the favorite.
It's gonna
Uh,
be the favorite.
Ohio State, obviously, finally beating Michigan. Just it feels written in the stars for them to repeat again this season. Team's too good. I think it got to be Ohio State. What about you?
Absolutely. The rematch here.
Yeah,
That's took some thinking for me, but just like you said, a team rarely loses to the same team twice in a row. So
twice in a row.
I've got the 2 seed Ohio State taking it home. It's an incredible run for Indiana, first of all. I mean,
Yeah, Indiana's great. Don't get me wrong. It's just Ohio State
absolutely just Fernando Mendoza, what he did to that program is just unparalleled to anything I think I've ever seen before.
and Kurt Signetti. Like it's not just
Yeah.
Mendoza. Like the whole program has completely changed. It's going to be good for years to come. I don't think anybody wants to leave, but
But yeah, like I said, Ohio State, man, that's always going to be a powerhouse. Obviously, Indiana's newly emerged, but like Ohio State, every single year, no matter how much doubt there is last year and stuff.
there's talking of their coach being fired. People wanted to fire Ryan Day because he lost to Michigan.
Yeah, man. But
And now there could be two-time national champion back.
yeah, I think there will be 2-time national champion. I think this is obviously college football playoff is never easy,
No,
but
it's the playoffs for a reason. It's college football for a reason. There's going to be upsets. But
my really big upset pick here is Oregon. I think
yeah,
them
Oregon,
beating James Madison and Texas Tech and probably fighting for most of the game against Indiana is gonna be some.
yeah, I think both the semifinals should be good. I honestly, hot take here, but I think all the games should be held on campus. I think games on campus is what makes college football college football. Maybe not the national championship, but the other games, it would be so much more fun if it was actually on the campuses.
Yeah, but there's also like tradition kind of things like Rose Bowl game and Sugar Bowl game.
Yeah, I get it. I think looking at some of those second round games, those would be so fun to have on the campuses,
For sure.
especially like the teams that are getting buys. Like to then also get a game on campus would be big.
Yeah, definitely. So we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah,
Um, should be a very, very, very fun playoff. Next time we'll probably have maybe the NFL playoffs decided. Maybe we'll have some more sightings to break to you guys, but
maybe we'll have a fun end of year recap.
end of year recap. Yeah, it's been a crazy year for us
Sports in 2025.
in sports. Yeah, it was just a great year for sports in general.
It
Next
was.
year to be even better. World Baseball Classic, that'll be electric.
Cannot wait for that. Yeah, we'll
Yeah,
see.
we'll see if this is it for us in 2025. We'll see
We'll see. We'll probably maybe try to get in one more over winter break.
for sure. But um, happy holidays.
Yeah,
Some great sports coming to you this holiday.
it'll be a fun holiday season. Thank you, as always. All right, thank you guys. We'll see you next time. Signing off.